under the weather, didn't get up. Just got up to watch Negelwasser. And we have to learn every day. Every week we learn Maharal, so let's cheparang from the Heilige Zayda Maharal. So Vayeshev Yaakov. So the Rashi says after the dwelling places and the descendants of Esau are written briefly. All the details didn't have to be mentioned, just very basic things. We don't know how did they inherit the Horite and so forth. But when it comes to Jacob's children, the whole history is written here because they're important before God. To write more of a chinet same thing. 10 generations from Adam to Noah, it just says so and so begot so and so. But when it comes to Noah, it has more details. Also, the 10 generations from Noah to Abraham, it's very brief. But when it came to Abraham, it was much longer descriptions. It's like if it's a parable, if a pearl falls in the sand, he's going to take a sifter and sift out the sand till he finds the pearl. When he's done, he's going to get rid of the sand. He's just going to take the pearl. All right, let's see what the Heilige Zayda Maharal practices. Parshas Aviv. So always the Maharal is asking what's bothering Rashi. So the issue here is that the story of Jacob should have been written right away, next to where and Jacob came to his father Isaac in Genesis 35 verse 27. So because then we'd understand he's dwelling in this place. Lama hifsik v'yeshuvei Esav told Osov. So why did we have to have this whole story of Esau and his progeny? It's mehu mashal, and so it's from this parable that we just said that it's sifting out the sand. You have to sift out the sand. I mean, why mention if Esau is not important? Why mention him at all? Well, because it's an act of sifting out the sand to find the pearl, and that's why it says. All right. So then it says Sfuna v'cheshuvim in Rashi. So Rashi explains Sfuna means to explain how they settled, and v'cheshuvim and their importance. It mentions their wars, especially another. People remember warriors in history and so forth. So that's sweet. Let's do one more. Let's do this one about the parable, Mashal Chutzvaris, that the discard the sand. Point is, once the scripture starts talking about Jacob, we don't hear about Esau anymore. He was thrown away. He was discarded. Esau is the sand, is the refuse. Jacob didn't mix in with Esau at all. Oh, so the thing is, Sruras means chips. You throw away the chips, but Esau is more like the chips, not even like the sand. That's why Rashi says Turas and not whole. He says chips, really, not sand. Meaning, you pick up the sand. You drop the pearl in the sand. You put the sand in the sifter, right? And there's going to be, sometimes on the beach, there's pieces of wood and things, other things. So you sift it out. So the sand is going to fall. The sand is already gone. But there's going to be other pieces in the sifter. You throw those away too. All you keep is the pearl. So the pearl was really only mixed with the sand, not with the pieces of wood and things. And that's what we're saying here. So Jacob was mixed with the sand, but not with the pieces of wood. It's just so the pearl was only mixed with the sand. So once you take out the pearl, all you care about is the pearl. It should be noted that the Maharal's wife, her name was Peril, was Margolis. So it's fruish ein tzorich lebehen mashlich. But the other pieces of wood and things, you don't need those. Those you discard. V'cheni yeshuvim sheyankiv haymor behen machvik b'kvara. So also the places where Jacob dwelled, those became sifted out. Shemadaber mena b'katzar yeshuvein. There's a little bit of discussion of their dwellings. There's no whole history given how they settled there. The whole purpose of even mentioning Esau and his dwellings and his settlements were just to find Jacob. But once you found Jacob, then you mention all of his dwellings, all of his settlements, all of his progeny and his history, and you give a very deep history. But anything that has to do only with Esau is not at all connected to Jacob is not even mentioned. The Ram sees it differently. He says that throwing away these pieces of wood, the little twigs and whatever that's mixed in, that is not part of this parable, right? But the Maharal says that's not true. Obviously, it's part of the parable. It's not talking about Esau himself. He's totally discarding him. We don't talk about him at all anymore. Thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe, comment, and we'll see you later.